My name's Jim Haviland, and this is my story. Religion didn't play a big role in our family. My dad never went to church, but I remember going to church in Sunday school with my grandma, my mom, and my older sister. We moved across town and moved out to Shawnee, and we stopped going to church, so that pretty much took care of God in my life at the time.
Hi, I'm Kylie, and this is my story. Life events led me to, I feel, be more promiscuous, and led me to believe that I only felt loved when I was giving my body away, which led me to have 2 children out of wedlock. I was accepting mentally and physically abusive relationships, trying to fill a void that I could not fill myself.
Then in January of 1975, my father suddenly passed away. He went to the hospital that night, and 6 o'clock the next morning, he was gone. And so my neighbor next door, I started attending a youth group with him, a small youth group with a lot of kids his age. And I did that for a couple years, but then all the kids in the group started going off to college. And so that youth group fell apart, and I started spending more time with my cousin, who was 6 years older than me. Well, he got me into drinking on weekends and doing all the things that a 15, 16-year-old shouldn't be doing.
After my last abusive relationship, I found myself in jail, questioning if I could go on or if I even wanted to. And I questioned if God was real, because how could he let all of this happen to me if he was real? And if he was, why would he want somebody like me? I felt like I was too far from being saved, and that's exactly where he met me. He gave me the strength to go on. He gave me the confidence to know that with him by my side that he was going to work out my situation for the good. And he did. And I see him working in my situation every day, still to this day, years later.
My girlfriend at the time, we had been together for 3 years. She wanted to get married. I wasn't quite mature enough. I was still living my life the way I wanted to live it. And so we broke up. And I thought, wow, she's right. I need to get my act together. And then I met my wife, and we got married in July of 1993, and I jumped right into familyhood. She had a 13-year-old and 11-year-old, so I went from a carefree single lifestyle, still drinking and still having fun. I was responsible in my career, but I was still living life the way I wanted to live my life. Well, I think I finally might have grown up then.
And I was blessed by meeting my husband, Josh, who changed my whole view on relationships and love and what love looks like. And we blended our family, and we created our son named Carson. Carson was diagnosed with level 3 autism, global learning delay, sensory processing disorder, and he also has Klinefelter syndrome. We were told that Carson may never talk. He was going to struggle to walk, and I felt like I was not enough to be his mom. I questioned if this was my punishment for all of the wrong things that I had done, and I questioned how I was going to be exactly what he needed, and God did not let me fail. He gave me the strength to learn everything I needed to learn and how to advocate for him.
My cousin, who I looked at as an older brother, he passed away in June of 22. And it really struck me that day at his funeral. The pastor said, "I just met him this morning." And I thought, wow, I don't want that said at my funeral. And I started looking back, what's missing in my life. And I missed the feelings that I had back in 1975 when I accepted Jesus in my basement with the neighbor. I was very selfish as I rebelled against God, but I realized he was always there. He was always pulling me back. He always put people in front of me that would get me into the position for the place I believe He wanted me to be. It started with my neighbor, who led me to Jesus in 1975. Then my girlfriend who, broke up with me in 1983. I mean, at the time, it was the end of the world. What am I going to do? Oh my gosh, we were going to get married someday, But I needed to see that to get me out of this runaway train that I was on. He was always there. I just didn't know it at the time.
About a year ago, I surrendered my life and I got baptized at Shawnee Alliance. And since then, I was blessed with a community that loves and supports our family, who understands us, who lifts us in prayer. I'm so thankful that I surrendered my life to Christ, and He changed my heart. I have a wonderful marriage because of it. We're leading our kids to Christ because of it. And we get to see the amazing works of God through our son Carson every day. We teach our kids to focus on things that we can control and give God the things that we cannot. Pray about everything, be thankful for everything. Lean on Christ in hard times and know that He's going to get us through anything that life brings us.
I'm feeling that peace and that quiet that I felt 50 years ago. And I just can't describe it. Right now, I think I'm, beginning to live my best life, and I hope to set an example for my family, my grandkids, and for anyone else that the Lord puts in my way. I'm Jim.
I'm Kyli, and I'm a transformed life.
And I'm a transformed life.